Is Andre Onana the main guy to blame for Manchester United's season? Well, according to him, he is. Andre Onana has taken the responsibility for every mistake he's made since arriving at Old Trafford, and he even went so far to defend all of his teammates who were criticized by the sports media. In other words, Onana is an old-school athlete. Hello football fans and welcome! In this video, we'll go through the situations in which Onana has taken bullets for his teammates and see what he's really made of. We're a new channel with the goal of bringing you only the best football content, so before we begin, hit that subscribe button and help us become even better with every new video. First, we have to start with a question. What is Andre Onana like as a teammate? Well, he took the blame for the awful season of the Red Devils and said to the media he's willing to take all the scrutiny for bad results to protect younger teammates. At the end of May of this year, when the Premier League table was officially set in stone, Manchester United ended up taking 8th place, which was their worst ranking in the club's history. As you could have expected, everyone was quick to criticize the players, the coach, and the management. No one was spared. However, when United's legend Gary Neville asked Onana about the criticism, this is what he had to say. "I've come into this team to take bullets because we're under construction. At the moment, we're not the best. We have other teams who are doing better than us, and we have to be honest and recognize that. If things and when things are going wrong, don't go for the youngest player. I'm here to take it. Bruno, Casemiro, and Harry are there, and we're used to it." At first, this statement may not mean much to you, but it speaks volumes on Onana's attitude towards the game, his teammates, and everything in between. We can talk about skills, stats, technical details, and all the other things in between, but Andre Onana has that something that's been lost and forgotten in the modern era of sports: character. You want someone to step in and show leadership. No matter how bad things are going for United right now, Onana may never be as liked as Casillas or Buffon, but there's no denying he stands up for his teammates and commands respect. Speaking of teammates, Ryan Babel, who needs no introduction, spoke highly of Onana's abilities as a goalkeeper and a valuable string in orchestrating both teams' offense and defense. "I know the spotlight is on Onana a lot in this United team, but the mistakes we've seen are as a result of a combination of things. Onana at Ajax had a back four in front of him who were all incredible with the ball at their feet. Respectfully, if Onana is then playing with Harry Maguire, then that immediately puts Onana in trouble because he's playing with defenders who aren't opening themselves up or making the right runs so that Onana has options to play, and that puts him in trouble." Andre didn't respond directly to this statement, but since it's obvious what kind of a teammate he is, he'd probably stand up to defend Maguire as he accepts the fact no player alone can be at fault for a team's failures. When it comes to having an opinion on Maguire, Onana's one is quite the opposite one of Babel's. When Harry was scrutinized for bad performances, it was as worse as it can get for a player. However, Onana never lost faith in his teammate. Just hear what he had to say about his 31-year-old defender. "I'll tell you a small example. I have Harry in the dressing room. When you see what he went through, what Harry faced, it was terrifying. He's a big man. He showed a lot of character. Now he's back, and he's one of the best we have." It's important to look at this kind of example because he passed through a difficult situation. Now he's back, and we move forward. I'm happy because we have good people around us, especially at this club, who helped me so much. Even if you're disappointed with Manchester's season, this type of chemistry should bring joy to every United fan hoping for a turn of events. As Onana has said, the team is under construction, which means they could get better. After all, Manchester United is an iconic club, and if the atmosphere is great with players having each other's backs, who's to say they won't land a massive star over the next couple of years and go back to being elite again? Speaking of great atmosphere among teammates, remember when Rashford was also on the media's radar for not performing like he did in the 22-23 season? Everyone was doubting him, saying the previous year was a fluke, but you can probably guess it. Onana had his back as usual. Rashford, how many goals did he score last season? 30. How many goals did he score this season? 8. We're talking about the same player. He's a bad player? So last season he was good, and this season he's bad? No, it's just a moment. You can have a bad season, you can have a bad start, but the most important thing is how you, and Rashi for me, is one of the best players in the world. But he's facing difficulty, like us. Not only him and me, but the whole club. The shot stopper continued. And he'll come back, and I know my killer will score some important goals for us. Hopefully, on Saturday, he'll score 2 and we win the FA Cup. Who wouldn't want to have a teammate talking about you like that? And mind you, they did win the FA Cup. However, there is one situation in which Onana did not step up as proactively as he can. Considering that this is the worst season when it comes to Manchester United's placement in the table, many media speculated about the potential departure of coach Ten Hag. When asked if he stands firmly behind his coach, Onana replied, "He's a good guy, a good coach. Tactically, he's very good, and he showed it last season. I was not here last season, and they got top 4. This season, a lot of things happened. I'm not here to back him up. He's big enough to back himself, but he's a really good guy. He's a positive coach, and tactically, he's good." At first, this statement seems completely normal. Onana praised the coach with whom he also worked at Ajax and highlighted his positive aspects. However, many media reported only part of his statement, "I'm not here to back him," trying to create a negative narrative in which the goalkeeper turned against the coach. Unfortunately, we live in a time when sensationalism is more important than professional integrity, so one of the friendliest players was presented as someone who could cause a rift within the team. If you know Onana, he's the type of player who will always support all team members, as he always did, but who also knows when to be strict and demanding of his defensive lineup on the field. No matter what happens to Manchester United this summer, one thing is certain: Andre Onana will handle it with class. To be honest, Manchester could benefit from a change within the team, but it must be done strategically and with clearly defined goals for the next 2 to 3 seasons. It's simply sad to watch a once magnificent club struggling to play in prestigious European competitions at all, and conquering them is hardly open for debate. Perhaps the biggest mistake that fans can blame Onana for is an embarrassment against Galatasaray when they missed the opportunity to advance to the knockout phase of the Champions League. His very poor reactions gave the Turkish team 2 easy goals and ended Manchester United's season in European competition. However, both he and the team managed to overcome this tragic scenario, and hope remains that Manchester United will be able to restart and return to the path of old glory. As for Onana, there's no doubt that every one of his teammates in England or any other league in the future will have his unreserved support, which makes him one of the most desirable teammates to have, and if you're a coach, that's exactly the kind of chemistry you want in your team. That's it for today, dear friends. We hope you enjoyed this video. Let us know in the comments below, what do you think of Onana as a goalkeeper, and what will be his future with Manchester United? Thanks for watching and sticking out with us until the end. Make sure you don't miss out on more football stories by hitting that subscribe button. See you in the next one.